To me, the thing that is worse than death is betrayal. You see, I could conceive death, but I could not conceive betrayal. Malcolm X. Betrayal leaves an indelible mark that resonates through the corridors of trust. It is a poignant rupture in the fabric of human connections, a fracture that echoes with the shattering of promises and the erosion of loyalty. Friendship and betrayal go side by side. I mean, once famously, someone told us the sad thing about betrayal, that it never comes from an enemy. It is always a friend. Someone you trust, someone you die for, and how often have we seen footballers betray their clubs? Transfers to rivals, abandoning your childhood club. We have seen it all. This is all that is waiting for you guys. But first things first, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon because things are about to get wild. Now, the first story is about a person who has always been in the spotlight, but not for the right reasons. With bizarre open goal misses or horrendous first touches, Romelo Lukaku has always been on the wrong side of history. During the summer, he was expected to pack his bags and move to Inter in a loan deal. It was obvious, he loved the club, and he has been a success there. In fact, he scored 14 goals in what was described as an underwhelming season by his peers. But the gods of football had something else in mind, and he snubbed them for God knows what reason. In fact, he decided to join their Serie A rivals, and the fans lost it. Those who betrayed you will do it again. You kissed the badge that is worth more than our lives to us, and now, like a vile, cheap mercenary, you're selling yourself to the highest bidder. It appeared that a return to Inter was on the cards, but the Nerazzurri abruptly walked away from negotiations, citing a breach of trust after learning that Lukaku had held talks with Juventus. After the talks with Juventus broke down, Lukaku joined Roma, where he has scored 7 goals in 8 games under Jose Mourinho. I don't think Inter would ever forgive this betrayal by Lukaku, the club that restored his frailing career. Moreover, the two teams have a lengthy history of animosity, and this is not the first time they have gotten into a transfer dispute. In fact, earlier this year, both of the clubs were involved in another transfer standoff. Despite protests from their own supporters, Inter Milan completed the free transfer of Juan Cuadrado from Serie A rival Juventus on Wednesday. The Colombian international, who has signed a 1-year contract with Inter, won 11 trophies in 8 years at Juventus, Inter's bitter rival. Infamously, Cuadrado has been involved in a number of incidents between the two clubs, most notably in April, when the winger was sent off as the Italian Cup semi-final game ended in a brawl. He was later banned for 3 matches. For this reason, the fans were unhappy with his arrival in Inter. So as news of the potential signing of Cuadrado emerged, Inter fans protested outside the club's headquarters. They also unfurled a banner on Wednesday after the player arrived for his medical examination. The banner was a rather cheeky one, and it read, "Until today, you have done everything to make yourself hated. If that's not what you want, it's up to you to show it." Jesus, that is rude, but you know, Inter has a history of enthralling transfers. Who remembers the transfer of Ronaldo to Inter in 1997? With clubs all around Europe clamoring for his signature, it seemed almost surreal when he chose to join Inter Milan from Spanish giants Barcelona. Nobody saw it coming. The news of Ronaldo joining Inter Milan shocked everyone in Serie A and beyond. His fast pace and impressive skills left fans in awe. And this wasn't even the most astonishing thing about this transfer. The sheer audacity of this transfer was what made it even more amazing. Inter paid a staggering €28 million for Ronaldo. It's one thing to make a bold statement on the pitch, it's quite another to do so off it with such swagger and panache. And the players love playing for Milan as well. They show that kind of love to them. Just hear our next story about a guy who took a pay cut to stay in Milan but was thrown out. Sandro Tonali completed his move to Newcastle this summer. They considered him family, and when family members leave, your heart is grieved. Milan fans had a similar reaction to his departure. He was a fan favorite, a die-hard Milan fan. So when the news of his rumored €80 million move to Newcastle United broke out, the fans were distraught. They were legit. As hashtag Cardinale out gained traction among San Siro devotees, Capital Partners founder Jerry Cardinale, who possessed a majority stake in the Italian powerhouses, found his name trending on Twitter on Wednesday night. While the Newcastle faithfuls were getting a gem of a player, Milan fans had sorrows that knew no bounds. 2023 will be the year I stop following football. If we manage to force out a player like Tonali, who has taken a wage cut and supported Milan all his life, then I am done," said one Milan fan, showing their discontent at the lack of investment by the Milan ownership. Something similar was quoted by club legend Maldini during a recent interview with CBS Sports. "Although we are playing in a Champions League semi-final, we are not yet at the level of the best clubs. We have to make investments now to reach that level and not risk taking steps backward." Recently, Maldini was shown the marching orders by the club hierarchy, adding salt to the wounds of Milan fans. Along with Tonali, Maldini was instrumental in getting new contracts signed by Theo Hernandez, Fikayo Tomori, Pierre Kalulu, Ismael Benacer, and Rafael Leao. Speculation in Italy suggests key San Siro dressing room figures are unhappy with the director's sudden departure, and it could have played a part in Tonali's decision to bid farewell to Serie A. This was the side the Rossoneri showed to players who were loyal to them. What about the players who betrayed them for money? They shower them with dollars. Donara, an AC Milan youth product, played 251 games for the Rossoneri before departing for a new challenge. He rejected a new contract and moved to PSG to sign a lucrative deal. This made a lot of fans very angry, because not only did he reject a new contract, but his leaving on a free transfer meant that Milan missed out on cashing in on a guy who made his debut at the age of just 16. So when he came back to San Siro with PSG, it was time for revenge. They had blood on their minds, and any hopes of him getting any sort of favorable reception went down the gutter from the moment he stepped onto the pitch. And it did not stop there. To make matters even more awkward, they proceeded to throw fictitious dollar bills at him. The fact that he chose not to sign a new contract with Milan, costing the team a significant transfer fee, earned him the nickname Dollarama from the supporters. The Dollarama money was thrown after Donnarumma received a message from Milan's ultras shortly before the game. According to Football Italia, the fans said, "We expected gratitude from someone who, like us, said he only had Milan in his heart, albeit aware that in today's football, it is difficult to resist certain calls." The environment was hostile, but do you blame the fans? They were heartbroken, and rightly so. Football is way more than just about money, and time after time, fans have proved it, preventing the game we love from becoming a money business. The rejection of the Super League is a prime example. The emotional scars left by betrayal persist long after the initial hurt, much like a burning wound. Trust, once shattered, is challenging to rebuild, casting a shadow of doubt on future connections. Players need to realize this and respect the connection fans have with them. Only then can the beautiful game prosper. For now, our time is over, but we will be back more. So head over, press the sub button, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Till next time, it's goodbye.